Hello everybody, it's Lady Shatana. Welcome to a Getting Started with Minecolonies. Today we are talking about Aquatica, one of the newest styles in the StyleColonies add-on to Minecolonies, made by the amazing Moobien. It is one of the more complex styles with how everything goes together, so I'm going to be giving you some tips and tricks on how to get going with the style. As you can see, I am on the ocean in a boat. You can be near the shore, and I am near an ocean reef because I love reefs. I think they're really pretty. But you do need to have some deep ocean to work with, and you want a fairly decent amount of it. So in front of me, as you can see on the map there, I have a lot of deep ocean to work with. The reason for that is because regular ocean floor goes down to about 45 or 50 Y level, and the supply ship actually needs to go down to about Y level 38, I believe it is. So you have to have some deep ocean to make this work, or you will be digging a lot to make it fit. So what you need, of course, is a supply ship. And if you're having any problems with getting started with it, you may need to go and get yourself a lily pad to place down on the water so you have a surface to click onto. But you find your spot and you make sure you've got some deep water ahead of you, and you're going to go ahead and select right click to select your supply ship. There's going to be some really great information that you are going to read, and you're going to select your style, and you are going to, of course, choose the Aquatica style pack. You will then place your supply ship, and it's going to bring up the ship to preview. So you're going to move it around until it's where you like. If you hit the escape button, it will let you move out of the menu and move around so you can get a good look at everything. So as you can see, it brings up this awesome ship, and if you go under the water, you can see that it goes down quite deep. And if we take a look at that, the regular level of the ocean floor, and it is just simply not deep enough to accommodate what you're going to get. There's some amazing lore that you're going to get a little bit later with why you get all this to start, but as you can see, you do have to have this this more deep ocean part in order to get it placed. So once we have it kind of sitting where we want, and we're making sure that nothing is obstructing it, we can right click again to bring that menu back up, and we're going to go ahead and click the check mark to place that ship. And then, of course, as with any of the supply ships or camps with Minecolonies, you're going to go ahead and explore every nook and cranny of this amazing ship to see what kind of goodies might be in the various storages. Sometimes there will be goodies hidden inside the ship or camp in various places, so make sure you explore everything. Most of the time, a ship or camp, the point originally of them was to give you your starter materials, so a place to live and be safe while you build, and that first bit of materials to get going. So a lot of the time you will end up actually demolishing the original ship or camp, and in this case you're just going to work with what you get started with. There is a readme up here in the, I guess the cockpit or flight deck here of the ship, and with Aquatica, it is very important that you do readme. It's going to have this awesome book that's going to give you a little bit of lore. I will let you read that on your own, and then it's going to have some instructions on various bits of placement, how you place, what blocks you're looking for, and some exceptions to the rules, because there are a couple of exceptions with Aquatica. as with any of the styles. So you're going to give this a really good read, and just make sure that you always come back to it if you're not quite sure how something is going to go together. So yeah, so read through that. I do have an entire Let's Play series that I've been having a lot of fun learning how this whole thing goes, and it would be, of course, really cool if you watched that if you had nothing else to do. There are some things that I came up with, problems that I discovered while I was doing my play testing, and there were actually some updates made to the style as a result of those. So the style is amazing. There are some really, really cool things that you're going to discover while you are playing it. So, of course, you're going to be looking for all of these storages, and in one of these storages somewhere is going to be the Town Hall block and the build tool. So, of course, when you placed your supply ship, you used the supply ship itself, which, of course, you built using the recipe, which is, oops, not in this one. I will show you over here. The supply ship is created by using 5 boats in a boat shape to make that. But this block is the only one that you're going to use directly. Everything else in Minecolonies uses the build tool. And so again, just to sort of exploring everything, see what you've got. Of course, the next thing you're going to want to do is sleep in one of the beds that comes with your supply ship to set your spawn and make sure that you are being nice and safe, no googlies to bother you while you're getting going. So while you're exploring, you're going to find that you have these really great life raft floaty bits here that have some dirt on them, and they will be really great for building or for growing your first few trees. Of course, you're probably going to want to pick some trees up and have all your very regular supplies you've been carrying around while you're adventuring, but this will let you grow trees to get going. You're also going to need a very good amount of cobblestone to get started, and keep an eye out while you're exploring for places that have a lot of diorite. You are going to need a large amount of diorite as you get going. So you've explored up here, but you can see that you have something going on under the water, and we have this little trap door here, and we're going to go down and see what we've got. And what we've got is more ladders going down. As we get down here, we're going to find a sign and some polished granite blocks. So these are what we're going to be using to align ourselves for setting up the town hall. So of course, with Minecolonies, you need to establish your colony, the whole area where you're going to be building. And the way that you do that with Aquatica is you're going to find this sign and this block. You're going to take your build tool and you're going to right click on this polished granite block. And the town hall is in the fundamentals section of the build tool. So there's all these different sections which contain the different huts and buildings that you're going to be using. We're going into fundamentals, which includes all of the buildings that basically you have to have really in order to get your colony underway. And so we're going to be going and finding the one that says Town Hall, and we're going to be selecting that, and it's going to take a moment, and it's going to bring up a preview of the Town Hall. In a moment, there we go, and with the movement menu, we're going to be just shifting it over one block, and you can see where it gives the red outlined block of where the hut block is going to go. It is always very important that that red outlined box is open and not buried in a mountain or anything like that. Not a concern with Aquatica, but with other styles it is something to be aware of. So as you can see with this preview, we can see the ghosting showing where the walls and things are going to go, and as you can see, the walls are matching up with all the walls properly, and you are lined up the way you need to be. So with having that, you are going to click into the right click into the arrow again to bring the menu back up, and you're going to click on the check mark, and you're not going to get this. It's just going to be the assigned to builder for you, but I am in creative to show you this. But it's going to do a little ding, and it's going to drop that town hall block down there for you. You are going to click into it, and it's going to have this amazing bit of information, and you're going to read that, of course. You're going to sign, and you're going to found your colony. You're going to have this really great message that comes up. Now, I always go into settings and right away while I have this open, and I'm waiting for the first citizen to arrive. So you are going to get 4 initial citizens that are going to just show up because they've heard about what a great colony you're going to have, and they are going to want to be a part of that process. So as soon as that first one shows up, I turn off new citizens spawning. The reason for that is because I only want to have to worry about feeding and housing one citizen as I get things going. Once I actually have some other jobs and some other housing, I will turn that back on to spawn the other 3. But I always like to turn that off as we get going. So it's a really good idea to take a look through the whole town hall menu here, all the options that you have available to you. You can edit your colony flag, change your colony color, change your citizen style and name pack if you are a Patreon. So being a Patreon is always a really great thing to do to support the mod and to give you some more really cool options. For example, I happen to really like the medieval, and I like the Nordic style types, and as you can see, my citizen changed up here, changed his clothes, changed his look, and I am a big fan of that. So if you want to do that, become a Patreon if you're not already. Okay, so the citizens, there is actually a quest system now that will let you do a series of quests to help you get going. I am going to tell them that I'm a colony master, so I'm not going to run through them, but that is something you definitely want to do. You also get some little rewards and things to help you on your way as you go. So the next thing, now that you've established your colony, you can see that you have your colony borders that you would get initially that establishes around the town hall. And in order to do anything else, you have to have a builder's hut. The builder is the only one that can create new huts and builds inside the colony. So you are going to need to make that. So you are going to create yourself a builder's hut block in a crafting table, and the builder's hut needs some planks, and any plank will do, any door will do, and your build tool in this format, and it's going to create for you the builder's hut. So you're going to make one of those and have it in your inventory, and you're going to go and explore and find the spot. There will be one here that will say TH Builder. So that's the Town Hall Builder. This is a special version of the Builder's Hut that fits into your initial infrastructure that you have here. So what you're going to do is, again, you're always using the build tool to place anything going forward. You're going to right click on this calcite block that's here, again going into fundamentals, and you're going to choose the Builder's Hut, and you're going to choose the one that is the Town Hall Builder right here. So you're going to select that. And again, you're going to be moving that back to match up with that granite block. And you can see the ghost of the calcite block here. And when we move it back and rotate, so you may need to rotate, you may not, you need to make sure that this calcite block, if I move it a little bit, you can actually see it moving into place. So you need to have this block matched up and the Town Hall block, or the Builder block, outline on that polished granite block. And when you do that, you'll be able to see the preview of the storage and things like that. So when things are lined up here and there and you can see those, you are in the right place, and you won't wreck anything by putting it incorrectly. So then you will again right click in the air to bring that menu up, and the check mark. Now normally it's going to assign to builder, and then you will have Braylon here build everything. However, I am going to construct it completely just so that we can move on to the next bit, so you can see what you're going to end up with. But normally it would assign to builder, and you would give your builder everything he needs in here to build that first bit. So you're going to read this, give you some information on how it all works, and it's going to automatically hire that first guy as the builder. And again, taking a look through all of your various options that you have available to you. What you would have done is clicked the build options, and you would have clicked build to start, and with the list of building materials that you would have needed. So you would have needed to provide all of these things. So there we go. So we've got that first builder placed in there. Now there is infrastructure here available to place either a tavern or a residence. And of course you can build the town hall itself. I personally would probably put that residence in first, because your citizens do get a little cranky when they don't have anywhere to live. Now the difference between a tavern and a residence will go up to level 5 and will be able to house 5 citizens. The tavern will go up to level 3. It will house, I believe it will house 4 citizens, and it allows for visitors to come and visit your colony. And those visitors are really great. You can hire them instead of having children born, and gives you the opportunity to hire some beginning citizens that have perhaps better stats, and it will be just regular items that will be asking for. So they might be asking for gold or redstone or baked potatoes, various things like that, if you aren't familiar with them. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be selecting the tavern, and the tavern itself, the same as, so this is JEI is your friend. If your mod pack doesn't include JEI, do make sure you get it installed, because you are going to really want it, because it's going to help you know how to make things. So the tavern itself is, again, it's got the planks all around the outside. It puts a barrel in the middle and the build tool. So you'll create that and have it in your inventory. You're going to go ahead and right click on the calcite block, and again into fundamentals and selecting the tavern. and the Town Hall Tavern. So there is another version of it if you perhaps wanted to place the residence first and build a tavern later. But I personally always start with a tavern because I like the option of being able to bring in those visitors. Now, that means that your citizens won't be able to have as high stats as they would if they were living in a residence, but you can always move them around later, and there are some citizen jobs where it doesn't matter as much if they don't get as high. So again, you are moving things around so that the block itself is on that polished granite block. You are looking for the doors to be lined up with these rooms that you've got here. So when you've got that lined up, and it will be quite obvious when you don't have it lined up, you'll see that the opening here doesn't line up with the doors. So I would be using the doors as a really good guide to make sure that you've got it all correct. So again, normally you would click build and you would provide all of the supplies to your builder over at the builder's hut, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just put it in as constructed with the level 1 so you can see what we end up with, and we can move on there. So the default settings is that the automatic options will be on, so that any new job that comes up will automatically hire an available citizen, and any housing that comes up will automatically house any citizens. So if we take a look here, normally, yeah, there we go. So Braylon has automatically housed himself into here, so he's going to be able to go to sleep, which will make him very, very happy. And we get that all citizens are tucked into bed message, which is the sign for you to go to sleep yourself, and get safely out of the way of any googlies that might show up at night. But the next thing that we're going to be taking a look at is you are definitely going to want to build your town hall. So getting that first level of town hall up will start actually expanding the infrastructure that you have available with this first bit. But you are going to also go downstairs and take a look, because something that is really important to get started on is the mine, which is a part of this beginning infrastructure here. So we have these lovely little windows. You can take a look outside, things going on. We have a little trap door which goes down into the ocean below you. And there are these windows which are going to become very important in a moment as we place our first set of buildings. But the mine is the next thing that you're probably going to want to get in place. And again, you're going to be building that mine hut block, which is, where's the mine? We want the regular mine. Is going to be a wooden pickaxe surrounded by planks and a build tool. If you wanted to, you could certainly use a stone pickaxe to create 2 if you wanted to build another mine later, or a quarry or something like that, but we would just probably do this one. So we would create the mine hut block and have it in our inventory. Again, taking our build tool, right clicking on the block, and into fundamentals and selecting the mine. And again, we're choosing the town hall mine option to match the sign here. And we are going to, so you may need to bring it up or bring it down or move it around. As you can see, for some reason it took it lower by 1 block than where it needs to be. So you're going to bring that up. We can see the ghost of that calcite block, so we're going to rotate to make sure that it is lined up. And when we do that, we can see that the trapdoor part lines up, and the this little bit that overlaps here lines up as well. So you're definitely going to want to just make sure that everything is lined up correctly. It is really important with Aquatica to be sure that things are lined up correctly. Otherwise, you'll end up having things overlapping and destroying each other, and flooding inside your home, which is not a good way to be. So again, normally you would have it assigned to builder, and you would provide your builder with all of the materials. But again, I'm going to just click constructed so you can see kind of what you end up with, and get things going. So this created the first level of the mine. Now, an interesting thing with the mine is that when you are in the ocean, and there's no dirt or rock or anything going on, your miner is not going to be able to actually do much of anything. So he is going to need to build down to the ocean floor and below before he or she will be able to actually start mining. And as you can see, in a deep ocean situation, the ocean floor is at Y0 or 1. So you actually do have to have your mine up to, I believe it's level 3, before you can before your miner will actually start noding out properly. They may try to do it earlier, but it is not a good idea to let them do that. So you're going to want to kind of pause your miner in between the various levels until they are up to level 3. So that's why you kind of want to get it started early on, so that you can get it upgraded before you actually hire somebody to build downwards. And there are some other tips and tricks to do with the mine, which you can always check with us on the Discord if it doesn't make sense to you. So there you go. So that's the mine. Now, another thing that is really important to get going with any Minecolonies colony is the university, because you need to do a lot of university researches in order to be able to build various huts. And you are going to build any new huts on deck C here, which is part of the instructions in that README book. And the way to build those, let's pick a direction to get going. Let's maybe go this way, is you are going to be looking for this framed glass with the stone piece here. As you can see, everything else is cobblestone, and where there is a stone block underneath the glass is where you can actually connect another building, another hut. So I'm going to just use the university as my example. You can of course build in whatever order you like, but I'm just going to use this one as an example. So where is the university? So the blocks, a couple of books, and the build tool. So you're going to right click on the ground, and the university is going to be under education, and you are going to actually need to put this outside of where you're at currently. So you do this, and you can see that we are still overlapping here. But the hut block for the university is going to actually be fairly close to where you're going to get started. And so you're going to be rotating things around until oops, until you have things fairly close. And you're going to be looking for this preview of the sand block and the granite block, because the sand goes just outside of where these glass blocks are, and the granite block is going to butt up against the stone block. So when you have it situated like this, you know you're very close, and when you drop it one block further down, you're going to be correctly situated. Now, one thing that I like to do that I think is something really handy is I like to get a door. And this is a little trick that you can use. So you'll take these two blocks out and you'll put in a door. And by putting in a door, you will be able to keep the water out, but you'll be able to go outside. And just, of course, be very aware of your air when you're doing this. If you manage to get yourself some sort of respiration, or if your pack includes diving gear, things like that would probably be really smart. But when you're coming outside, you'll be able to come out and get a good preview. Now, you want to have your new hut butted up against your existing build, never overlapping, except for a very small exception, which we will talk about later. You want to make sure that you are in the clear, in the water. And as you can see, if we had started our builds over on the regular ocean, we would not have enough room to build these new things. So we can see with our build tool in our hand that we are inside the borders of our colony. One thing with the borders, make sure that you're not changing your colony color to like a blue, because if you do that, it's very hard to see your borders. I generally like aqua, and I had to change it, so just be aware of that. So anyway, I'm coming outside, being able to preview everything here and seeing that it is lined up, because if you move, you see with it not butted up, you're going to end up flooding everything and not being connected. And so that is what you're going to do, and you can see that it's going to create this nice big beautiful university. And let's get back inside here. So again, I am going, normally when you click the check mark, it's would assign to builder. You would have your builder do the thing. I am going to place it as constructed just so that you can see what we end up with, like that. So what's going to happen is when it finishes building, it's going to look like this. You are now able to take out the connecting bits and open the whole thing up. You don't have to, but you certainly can. Now, one thing that you want to be aware of is while this was building and opening up, one of the last things to go in is the torches and is any lighting, and this area might have a lot of the googlies in it. There might be some naughty little skeletons and zombies and things, so you want to make sure that you are prepared for that and coming in and clearing that out before you let any of your citizens into any new area that's built. So there you go. So now you have your university and you're able to start your builds, which will be very important. So that is very important, looking for the stone block and lining it up with the granite block, and using the preview of the sand blocks to really help you get that first bit lined up. The next bit that is a little bit interesting when you're building is the courier huts. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and I'm going to do the door trick here again, and as it's kind of neat to be able to peek out here and then hide again with doing that. So let's go ahead and we're going to place a warehouse so that I can show you how the courier huts in the warehouse do work. So the warehouse is going to be in the storage area. And the warehouse, there are a couple of different versions. I think we're just going to do the regular one to start. Let's get that out there. So I'm going to actually take a look outside at the preview. And as you can see, it's another fairly large complex. And look at that, by doing that, we actually got lined up perfectly as we, by finding those sand blocks, I know we're in exactly the right spot. Taking a look outside, again, making sure that you are not butted up against anything. And in this case, we can absolutely build here. We just would need to clear out any of these blocks. Or, you know, by placing this, our builder would have to clear out all these blocks. So it's up to you. Aesthetically, do you want to have things going into the ocean bits there? Totally up to you if you do want to run it that way. But most people wouldn't. So we have discovered that on this side, that's probably not a good place to build this very large building. So we're going to cancel, and we are going to build on the other side. So previewing is really, really, really important. So you can see how everything is going to fit, because if we didn't go out and preview, we wouldn't have known that it was butting up into the ocean floor. And again, so that is why building something in the middle of a dark, deep ocean, you're not going to run into that. But it's entirely up to you how you want to do it. So on this side that we know we have a lot more room, let's go ahead and try this warehouse again. And we're going to look for, there's our sandy blocks preview. And again, if we pop that up, we can see the granite, but I like using the sand blocks. I found it was the easiest way for me to know where everything was. So again, taking a look out, now you're going to have to be aware, of course, of your air. But now we're in a place where everything is lined up nicely, and we have lots of room to build there. And so again, I'm going to go ahead and place that as constructed so you can see how it all works. So again, now that everything's built, you're going to be very careful coming into here, making sure you're taking care of any googlies that are in there before you let your citizens come in. So the first level of the warehouse does only give you the bottom. The top layer floor has been built, but you're not going to be using it quite yet. It will become available to you at a later level. I believe it's level 3. Couriers are a little bit different. They are one of the exceptions to the rule, and they go in these spots. You could put them really anywhere, but these areas are specifically intended to put your couriers in there. So what you're going to do, and again, you're going to create yourself the courier hut blocks using JEI to get the recipe, and you're going to select the courier's hut, and there are many different options available to you. I'm going to select the courier D because it's one that I designed and I like it. So what you're going to do, this is the one of the only ones that overlap. So the hut block is going to go on top of the granite block there. And this one is a little bit different in that it's much more difficult for us to go outside and preview, but honestly, I would put it there and I would run outside and preview it. because it's always good to do that. I also do, and I haven't mentioned this yet, I also do always like to preview at level 5 so I can see what something is going to look like when it's finished. But for the purposes of this, you just need to know you have to have this lined up right there and overlapping. If you have things like this inside, you are not lined up correctly. So it needs to have the whole thing outside, and when you're lined up like that and you can sort of see the cobble outside, you know you're lined up correctly. So that one, again, I'm going to show it as constructed. It doesn't look like much of anything at all when you're on the inside, but it looks great on the outside. You're going to have to believe me, and I'm not going to spoil the surprise. So that's one of the exceptions to the rule. The other exception to the rule is the herders, and herders are very important because they do things definitely a little bit differently. Let's decide where we're going to put it. Now we know we don't have a lot of room on that side right now. We've got the university going. You know what? Let's build it out the other end of the warehouse, because that's heading straight out into the ocean. We know we have lots of room. Now, of course, using your journey map in this case will help you keep track of where everything is going. At this point, you're going to start wondering, well, how am I going to build anything further out, because I don't have enough room in my borders here. So I will tell you that as you upgrade the town hall, it is going to add another wing over here, which will help you expand further out. So in this case, normally I would say don't worry about building the town hall right away, but for Aquatica, I would actually start building that town hall right away and upgrading it as soon as you can, because it will give you actually more building infrastructure to start with. So don't just build out the sides of what it's given you to start. Upgrade your town hall to give you that extra bit of building. But in this case, let's take a look at how we're going to deal with things on this side. So we actually don't have enough room at this end to build another building over here. So what are we going to do? What I would do is I personally would do a temporary guard tower. And I call this leapfrogging. So you'll put a tower in as close to the border as you can and push that border out and then move the guard tower. Or build another guard tower and remove the one you've got. So I'll show you exactly what I mean here. So by leapfrogging, you're going to go ahead and you're going to create the build tower block, of course, or the guard tower. You could do just a regular guard tower. You're going to be looking for the sandy blocks here and moving that out. So butting it up, same as normal. And again, I'm going to go ahead and construct it so you can see how things work. Now that pushed the border out a little bit right there, but it's not quite enough. So you're going to be upgrading your builder's hut so that they can build level 2 and higher. And so in this case, I would actually upgrade this guard tower to push things out a little bit further, but we might possibly have enough room here to do the next step. So just build as much as you have to get the border to where you need it. So now we probably have not enough, we don't have enough room to do something like put the warehouse over here or anything like that. But we do have enough room, I believe, and let's check this, to put a guard tower over here. So a guard tower also gives you a really great sort of intersection And if we take a look here, we have pushed things out with that guard tower just enough to be able to put a guard tower at the end here. And so that's what I would do. I would build that first one, build the second one, and the second one is going to give us what we need. So we're going to construct that, and again, you can take all this down now that you've built it, and you can see we have pushed that border out now in this section to give us more room. What I would do then is I would actually deconstruct and pull this one down normally, because then you're saving that one level that you've already built. And I would want to put a courier hut here, but it's entirely up to you what you want to do. If you want to leave it there, if you want to move it, totally up to you. But what we've done now is we've given ourselves a bit more room to work with over here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you this last bit of the exceptions to the rule with the herder's hut. So we're going to start with one of the herder buildings. They are going to be in agriculture. Husbandry has it's anything to do with animals of some kind. Horticulture, of course, is with growing things. Let's start with the cowhand's hut, because quite often you will want to get cows pretty early on. Now, the herder's huts are the only ones that don't actually have that really handy bit of the sand, and I'm not entirely sure why, but that's just how Moobien designed it. So these ones, you are definitely going to have to go outside and take a look at what you've got going on. So these ones, you need to have things not overlapping anything else to start with. So you need to have the short end on the bottom connected up and the long end out where it can be accessed, where it has lots of room. And it has this really cool bit up top, which is going to actually allow you to capture animals, bring them over in your boat, and you drop them down the chute. And believe me, they do get safely down into the pasture area, which is the top here. So it is very important that the first one that you place, the first herder that you place, is situated exactly like this, where it has this section open, and that it is being built on sea deck so that it properly comes up to the surface and has the room that you need. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to construct this, and you can see that it is now in place. So the next one that you build, so the next herder, you probably want to do something like the shepherd or something like that. Again, you're going to be inside. Let's get in there. And this one has a smooth stone right there. And you are going to be placing your next herder. Let's go ahead and select the shepherd's hut. And again, you're not overlapping the main build here, but when we're taking a look at our preview outside, the top portion is going to overlap with the other building. Herders are the only ones that do this, so it's very important that you get this lined up correctly. So you'll probably do something like the cowhand and the shepherd together, and then you'll do the rabbits and the pigs together. The chicken herder has its own thing going on, so you'll build that one separately. But these ones, very important that these are lined up correctly. As you can see, this is not, and this is.
So these are the only ones, exception to the rule, and when it's constructed, these together creates a lovely pasture inside for your animals. You're also going to want to make sure that you're upgrading them sort of together, so you'll upgrade them both to level 2, and then you'll upgrade them both to level 3, up both to level 4. That way the upper section will upgrade properly, and you won't be pulling things out by accident that you don't need to. So that is all of the basics of getting going with Aquatica. I didn't want to show you too much to kind of ruin some of the really great surprises that are in here. Just always be very aware of where things are, always going out. Take that time to place the preview, run back through, run upstairs, go outside to make sure that you're previewing where everything is, so you don't do things like accidentally run into the ocean floor, unless that's something you want to do. More work for your builders. Do go and build as far into a deep ocean as you can to avoid that sort of problem. And otherwise, if you have any concerns or questions or anything like that, the Minecolonies Discord is always happy to help you out. Do make good use of the README book that comes with your supply ship. And that'll just about do it. This is very long, but I really hope that it helps you get going on your Aquatica journey, and that and that you have fun in the ocean. So I hope that you are having an absolutely fantastic day, and that we see you again very soon. Bye bye.